What a wonderful day! Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was directed by Wes Bell, who did the Maze Runner franchise and other projects. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. This was written by Josh Friedman, whose previous work includes Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves. Boy, Johnny Mnemonic, Chain Reaction. There were other questionable choices like whatever the fuck that accent was in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Should I retro-review Bram Stoker's Dracula? Let me know in the comments if I should retro-review Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've said Bram Stoker's Dracula so many goddamn times, I'll just review that later. Let's get back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Josh also did movies like the Tom Cruise-led War of the Worlds movie. Oh, boy. Hoo-hoo. Yeah, that was some. The Black Dahlia was pretty good. He also did Terminator Dark Fate and Avatar 2, The Way of Twatter Boogaloo. So yeah, with that slate of films, I was kind of questioning what the fuck, but that being said, this is a continuation in the long running timeline of the Planet of the Apes movies. A movie called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes being part of the canon of the Planet of the Apes franchise. My God. So yeah, going all the way back to 1968 with Dr. Zaius, and, you know, it's a madhouse, you blew it up, all that, and then the 1970s versions that varied in quality. The quality being okay to what the fuck were they thinking. Then went on ice till 2001. Tim Burton said, Mark Wahlberg, Helena Bonham Carter, you're ape and human, you kiss. And also he didn't want to make a sequel because Fox kept interfering. And that was really bad. So they put it on ice again until the most recent trilogy that started with Rise of the Planet of the Apes in 2011, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in 2014, War for the Planet of the Apes in 2017, which seemed to wrap up everything in a nice, neat little bow. And considering what happened to Caesar, and if you haven't seen War for the Planet of the Apes, this is a bit of a spoiler, but why are you watching this if you haven't seen the other trilogy? Caesar dies. Oh no. Oh no. That ties into this movie, but there you go. So, considering that everything got wrapped up, it's like, okay, you could continue the franchise, but how would you do that considering Caesar was such a beloved character? Andy Serkis did a great job doing motion capture work. How would you do it? Simple. We go into the future and see some apes and humans in the future. We already did that. I know you do that. So yeah, we go about 300 or so years into the future. Many generations have passed. And we see the Eagle Clan. Where you have Noah, voiced by Owen Teague, who was in It. He was Patrick, by the way. No? Is this Owen? No, this is Patrick. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like one of the few SpongeBob references I know. He is, you know, he's just living his life, helping his family, hanging out with the ape family, having himself a party. No birdemic, but there are birds in this because the Eagle Clan, obviously, they have something to do with eagles. They get eggs from high nests, all high nests, and they make sure to, you know, let the eagles raise them. They do a bonding thing where they have these eggs, you know, with them. And then everything's good. And they just bond with these eagles, and it's all great. It's kind of like the Avatar stuff, except this actually is good. You know, the way they do this, instead of, you know, inserting something in a goddamn water dragon, whatever the fuck that thing was. That being said, this peaceful life is threatened when a ruthless king, voiced by Kevin Durand, who's hungry like the ape wolf, who's most recently in Abigail. Yeah, the Ballerina Vampire movie that's already out on digital because it flopped hard, so hard. He basically says, you know what, I want to accomplish something. I want to be king. I just can't wait to be king. Soldiers, go do my bidding. Go get a bunch of apes. I want to do something to continue and spread my reign, spread it far and wide. So Noah basically has a band together with a few people, including an orangutan named Raka, voiced by Peter Macon, who actually is my favorite character in the goddamn movie, in all honesty. And also a human named May, played by Freya Allen, who was in Gunpowder Milkshake. And other cast members include Sarah Wiseman, Travis Jeffrey, Lydia Peckham. We have William H. Macy in this. I mean, he's in a minor role. I do want to just say that for those that are William H. Macy fans watching this, all three of you. That's disrespectful. He's a good actor, but come on. That being said, we get a family dynamic with apes. We get a human dynamic, and we get the tyrannical king going on. All this crazy shit. So, Not being the biggest fan of the franchise, I respect the current trilogy, even if I had some issues with war and issues with a couple other things. I recognize the good of it. So, how was this movie in comparison to the others? It's my favorite of the goddamn franchise by far. I fucking love this movie. This movie is one of my favorites of the goddamn year. No one is more surprised by that than me. I did not expect to say that. I expected to like it, but seeing the marketing, I was like, I'm sick of seeing this trailer just come out already. Because I go to so many movies, mystery movies, and whatever, and first-run releases. I was like, all right, let's just see what it's all about. And again, I just recently rewatched the entire previous trilogy that does tie into this, because the apes, some apes are learning from Caesar's teachings and doing right by them to live a quiet life, and others are using them to justify their hatred and for more thirst and power. Not thirst and power, but thirst and power just sounds like a WCW jobber name. Let's just move on from that. But yeah, since it's set in the future, you get a fresh coat of paint. You also get to have a few different story directions, and based on what they did at the end of this movie that we'll talk about in the spoilers, they could go in a few different directions, and I hope they do. I actually am curious to see what they are going to fucking do with this particular story. I know, me, somebody that usually hates everything, according to some viewers and according to some of my close friends, I say, I hate too many movies. I don't. I just like movies to be good. And this was good. No, fuck. It was great. It was really great. If this isn't in... I mean, I've seen a lot of movies already. This is the 101... Movie 101 that I have seen. Movie 101. It's just follow the plot, follow the cliches. It's movie 101. That being said, this is movie number 101 that I have seen released this year already, not including the retro reviews that I've done. I'm on pace to hopefully get to or possibly eclipse the 276 movie mark that I did last year. If I can get to 300, that'll be the highest that I ever do, and I am not going to continue to try and go higher and higher than that. I don't care if I have to drop something. But nevertheless, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is really, really good because it has a serious tone to it. It builds the story well, and even though it treads familiar ground, has certain things that tie back to the original movie and fan servicey stuff. It's very, very good. Great even. I really, really like this, and I encourage you guys to check it out. I also like the conversations between Noah and Raka. Raka, who understands the teachings of Caesar and is a wise man, so to speak. And May, Freya actually does a really, really good job being a little bit mysterious about her motives that she may or may not be good. Who knows? And Kevin Durant is good as the king. So really, really good stuff. I encourage you guys to check this out. It's in theaters. Please check it out as soon as you can and let me know what you guys have to say. That being said, I am going to get into spoilers. So 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Say in the beginning there was rap. I'm sure somebody said that at some point. It's Dr. Dre. Been there, done that. The Aftermath. You need to listen to that song after this. That being said, we don't get Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. We just get ties to the previous movies. What I like is the early climbing scenes where Noah shows ingenuity to get to this high thing, this high nest, and climb and get an egg and everything. Unfortunately, even though his father does love him and his mother loves him, something happens where his egg gets busted. And the reason his egg gets busted, before the bonding thing, he was going to go out and actually take care of, or go out and get another egg even at night, because his egg got busted. And then that led to him running into some soldiers, these soldiers that end up basically burning his village down and capturing all of his comrades, including family members. And also he has seen Freya Allen's May, kind of running around, what the hell's going on, what's actually happening here, why is she here? She's here because she needs to get to the king's compound, basically. That gets revealed a little bit later on, actually, after Noah meets Raka, and they have a good conversation and everything, and actually really good. And Raka, Peter Macon's really, really good. Really good. Really, really. I need to check out his IMDb page and check out more of his shit. Because if he's just this good voice acting, I really, really need to dive into more of his shit. So, that being said, we get a good camaraderie there, and then May continues to follow them. And she eventually reveals she can talk, and then there's this like shocked moment. That's some really good stuff right there. She's like, oh, my mother taught me silence. So she lost her mother, and all this weird stuff's going on. Like, everybody's got different, everybody's like, they don't quite trust each other. Human and ape, all that stuff. And then it looks like, oh, there are all these humans here with these zebras in this river, in this creek, and oh, everything's fine. So, hey, Raka, you stay behind with May. I'm going to go on. Well, within a few seconds, the soldiers suddenly show up, capture the humans straight out of Planet of the Apes. Except this is done better because they actually gave it a lot more story building to it, and also you didn't keep thinking of, I shot an arrow into the air. At least that's what I thought. While watching the original, that is. They managed to get away, these three, and everything's going okay. They're bonding, they're talking. And then they're going to cross this bridge, and this bridge ends up, being a trap for the king's soldiers, perpetrated by the king's soldiers. And Raka, while saving May, unfortunately ends up meeting his end in a raging river because the one main guard is like, ah ha ha ha. Now, some of the guards aren't very distinct. Some of them do kind of look the same. The motion capture work is incredible, I do want to say. But they eventually get, it's over an hour before they get to the king's compound. So they take their time with this. And it's 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it doesn't fucking drag. William H. Macy is teaching Proximous Caesar, that's Kevin Durant, that's who Kevin Durant plays. He is taking the teachings of Caesar, but he's just a bit smarter than some of his dumb underlings. Apparently, this particular character, motion capture and everything, was based on a certain individual that owns a certain social media site. And you can see it. Except Kevin Durant actually has intelligence behind him. That being said, he wants to learn. He wants to open this compound, this facility, because it's on the water. There's this dam that's set up to prevent the water from getting in. And he does this, what a wonderful day. And everybody's, what a wonderful day, what a wonderful day. The teachings of Caesar, we will open this thing. And they also use shock stick stuff on metal. That's actually something the soldiers use. And that's something Caesar. Noah ends up using. They kind of make him a little bit like Caesar, even though he's growing. And, he's similar but different. That being said, they can't get in the compound. Well, then it turns out May actually knows more than she's leading on. And there's something that she needs to get in there. Even though she lied a bit about certain things, she needs help. Still the trust issues between Noah and May. Also, Noah's mother and comrades are actually okay. So the three from earlier, including Noah, they get May, they set up a bunch of gunpowder, explosives, that kind of stuff, to blow the dam and flood in there if they happen to get the doors open. And that way, the king can't actually reap the rewards of what's in there. What's in there? It's an old military base, and May ends up needing to get one particular encryption key thing that she needs for something. She said it was a book that could actually help people talk again, and she's not wrong. But also because even though apes are smart, they still aren't quite smart to realize when they're being led astray. So we then get a face-off. There's some guns there. May gets a gun, a handgun. She ends up saving one of Noah's comrades. And then by shooting the guy that was holding the knife to her throat. And then the king's like, oh, are there more weapons like that, child? Because he talks just enough to where it's like you can recognize that he has a little bit of intelligence, but he's actually kind of a fucking idiot. He thinks he's twice as smart as he really is. Again, like the aforementioned, person that inspired that owns a social media site that sure loves to lose money. I wonder if you can guess who I'm talking about. Nevertheless, she decides, well, shit, I don't know all I can do. Oh, girl, you can go home. But then she decides to blow the goddamn dam. And the waters flood in. And there's all these weapons, all this other stuff and everything. we get, all these tanks, all this stuff going on. She didn't want him to get a hold of it. And then the floodwaters come. The ape guard that basically, that killed like people that he cared about and captured and tortured them, he gets drowned. That was actually kind of a fitting scene right there. And then all this stuff, like there's, going back a little bit, there's stuff about the eagles. And this eagle actually looks more like a hawk. Hawk! It's over the top, that is. They basically get, this bird kind of that the father had bonded with, but the father died, saving Noah, by the way. Gets this bird's kind of mocking him and everything and this kind of stuff. But then it turns out this bird actually has just been following him, waiting for him to be who he was born to be. And then he actually lands on his arm like a bit before that, so it's a good story. So they end up at the top of this. All the survivors of the Eagle clan, I'm sure they had a few casualties, are on top of this whole thing where they crawled in before. The three crawled in before, along with May, to get into that facility, to get that encryption key. Basically what ends up happening is, Proximous Caesar is there, and he's beating down Noah and using fear tactics. He's having to use fear tactics because he is fucking outnumbered like mad. But then, finally, Noah, even after, when it seems like he's done, he starts doing this bird call song thing that they were doing before. And then the birds start attacking Proximous Caesar. Attacking him. And then he finally, the main one attacks him. He falls a couple hundred feet, whatever, right into the fucking water. Probably hits the rocks. We never actually see him fully die. We just see him fall in the water, so he could be alive for the next one for all we know. But that being said, the Eagle Clan are going to go home. And they do. And then May shows up, and she's got her gun. It seems like she's maybe going to shoot if something bad happens, but she's got behind her back. Raka had given him the symbol of Caesar and said, "This is important." Hand it to Noah. So Noah handed it to May. This is important. Even after everything, not sure if apes and humans can get along. She's not sure. Then she takes a horse through grain, fields of gold and everything, as Sting once said. Not the wrestler Sting, but the singer, just in case you were confused. To this military compound. Has this very beautiful woman greet her. My God. Anyway, need to find out more stuff she's been. Apparently, Australian actress and model. So yeah, need to read up. Name escapes me right now, but she was beautiful. They get the encryption key, and now they can get these satellites that are all busted up to communicate with other outposts, like Fort Wayne, Indiana. Who the fuck would want to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana? There's like 2 people I know that live in Indiana, and I'm sorry. But they're communicating like, what's going on and everything. It was good to hear another voice. So, hints at possible human-ape conflict again, maybe? Or camaraderie? Who knows? A+, fucking terrific. Great shit. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. Was it shocking and twist-wise? No. But was it great? Oh, fuck yeah. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.